Hey, this is Will Middleton from LifterLMS. In this video, we're going to take a look at LifterLMS Forms. Checking through our video content base, I realized we actually didn't have a video showcasing LifterLMS Forms. We did have a demo of LifterLMS 6.0, which is the version of Lifter that introduced Forms, but not a video talking about just a general rundown of just Forms and what they do. So let's take a look at LifterLMS Forms and what they offer for your LifterLMS website. So you can see here I'm on the page LifterLMS Forms. On the left-hand sidebar, I have three forms: billing information, register, and edit account information. These are three critical forms to your LifterLMS website. The billing information form appears on checkout on any of your courses or memberships. So if I were to go edit one of my courses, let's take a look at what that looks like. So on all of my access plans, they're going to inherit this billing information form. So if I copy my purchase link, go to an incognito window and check out the page, this is my billing information form here. And if I go back over to my billing information form area, I can edit that form. I can change the title. If I wanted to say checkout, for example, I could change the language there, reload my page over here, and that modifies what my purchase pages say. And you can see this is my information I'm asking for: email, password, first name, last name. And then on the purchase page, email, password, first name, last name. If I wanted to add some more fields, I could go here to the upper left and I could do user display name. That would be the username. I could do the user login, or actually that's the username there, the user login there. I could do display name as well. I could do address if I wanted to ask for that. There are some fields in LifterLMS out of the box, these user information fields. And with the LifterLMS Custom Fields add-on, you may have seen on our store, it adds some more options for custom fields. But in LifterLMS out of the box, these ones up here at the top: phone, login, username, display name, etc. These are the ones included in the free core plugin. So you can see when I add those fields there, it populates a lot more fields on my form. So that's the checkout form or purchase information form. If I go back out to the WordPress dashboard, let's take a look at the register form. The register form is rarely used. If you were using open registration on your website, that would be a reason to use this registration form. So let me go ahead and enable open registration real quick, and we'll take a look at what that looks like. So I'll just click around here. LifterLMS settings is what I'm looking for, accounts at the top, and I would like to enable open registration. If I save changes there, I can view my dashboard page as somebody who's logged out. And here is that register form. So like I said, this form is rarely used, but if for some reason you're selling maybe to a company via voucher codes or something like that, there may be a reason for you to use this registration form. But if you can't think of a reason that you want people to go around the traditional checkout process, you're probably not going to use this form. But just in case you are, let's take a look at it. It's going to be the same as that checkout form when we edit the form under LifterLMS Forms Edit on the register form. It's the same sort of setup. This is just where that form will appear. I can remove fields, add fields, rename fields if I'd like to. I could change the password name. I could change first name to just first. I can change the language on all of these just by clicking and editing that field right there. Each LifterLMS form also has the option for description text. If I wanted to say your first name, or I could add placeholder text, I can do that. I'll save that. Reload the page, and we'll see we have some pre-populated, or it's not pre-populated, it's a suggestion name or an example. Right there, I changed the label and also added description text. So this form is highly intuitive and highly editable, and this is the same for all of the forms in your website. So rounding it out, let's take a look at our last form, and that is the edit account information form. This form will appear when users are editing their account on their student dashboard page. If I were to go down to edit account, here is that edit account form, and the same rules apply as the checkout or registration form. I can change all of these labels if I'd like. And one thing you might notice is I changed the first name field on my other form, and it also updated over here. That's because this name field is a reusable block, meaning it's used on all three forms. If you haven't heard of reusable blocks in WordPress, it's where you can have a block, maybe an image. You can save it as a reusable block, and then you can add that image to other pages. Then if you were to update the image on one page, it would update on all the places you had that reusable block. It's sort of like a global sort of thing. If you wanted to work with that, you may have seen that in page builders like Elementor or Beaver Builder, and now that functionality is built into the core and it's being used on this form here. Now, if you didn't like that setup and you wanted to have different labels on different forms, you could convert it to a regular block and then have customizations specific to the edit account form that do not apply to the checkout form. Hopefully that kind of makes sense. If I wanted to convert to regular blocks, this change would not apply to the other forms there. So that's an option, but it's a very neat feature for making sure that all the forms in your website are using the same language. And yeah, that's about it for the form setup. Every form you can remove fields. The required fields are email and password. The other fields should be optional there for you. But yeah, each field also has settings. Let's take a quick look at that. So for example, the password field, and remember this is a global or a reusable block, so this is going to update the password on my other two forms as well if I were to make a change here. I'm going to head to the upper right hand corner and click on settings, and let me actually navigate into my password reusable block. One neat feature of WordPress is this navigator up here at the top, these three bars. It shows us the breakdown of blocks on the page. Sometimes clicking around in this block editor can be a little bit difficult to understand exactly what you're editing, so this navigator really helps you see exactly what you're doing there. So I'm going to toggle open this password field and we can click on that there, and of course the password has a few settings over here. All these fields have a lot of settings over here on the right hand side. If you wanted to modify some conditions of that field, I recommend checking that out. For example, if you didn't want first name to be required, we could navigate here over to first name. We could change everything from the field width to whether or not it's required or optional. So very cool options for each field individually. Now the password field unfortunately doesn't have an option for whether it's optional or not, because it's a required field for people to have a WordPress account. But there are a few display settings we can modify, and if we were to go to our user password field here over on the left, we can see we can opt to remove that confirmation field. We could change the field width. We could remove that password strength meter. We could set a minimum password strength of week and a minimum password length if we'd like to as well. So all kinds of options related to every field. So I definitely recommend getting into your LifterLMS Forms area and checking out what you can modify there. Let us know in the comments below this video if there's any other videos you want to see around LifterLMS Forms or any other questions you have around Lifter. Check out the Forms extension and feel free to give us any feedback or questions in the comments below this video. My name is Will Middleton from LifterLMS. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you in the next one.